is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the Fishies!
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride,
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan de Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Culture that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cullajar's got past, so Dylan.
Light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the Fishies, any of the Piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're off.
First lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons.
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to snip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tannock and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he overcommitted, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if he gets a good run. Dodd's just absolute thinker, but it is a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you are watching from. Welcome back to Sim Racing World TV, and welcome back to the Warren & Brown Tools IMSA Shadow Series, brought to you, well, I already mentioned the sponsor. My mind is gone already. It was a big day yesterday out at Knotfest, and yeah, my brain is just fried. Just like my skin from not wearing sunscreen yesterday, like an absolute idiot. But we're out here, round number 8, Sebring International Raceway, on the eve of the iRacing official Sebring 12-hour. I'm joined here tonight by my regular Tuesday and Sunday night cohort in Steven Sinkovich. Now, Sinky, you've been here this season for at least one race of IMSA. Back again right in the dying embers here out at Sebring, and this track just promotes some fantastic racing in pretty much anything you bring around here.
I don't mind. I reckon it's an awesome track. Some people whinge and complain about it, but I reckon it's a sensational track, mate. Good to be back on tonight and joining you in tonight, mate. Good finish to the week for the penultimate round.
Yeah, of course, this is the second to last round of the season. Obviously, we've kind of ticked the boxes on the first 3 races or series of this week. Obviously, the Supercars, the F3s, and the 8.6s. And tonight is the IMSA action, of course, as well. So, but, you know, this season has really been a tale of a couple of drivers out there for both classes, of course, or even 2 teams, really, as well. Vermilion down in the GT land, and then the Froggy boys up in GTP. But, you know, Sebring, again, you know, you would think tonight we're going to get some awesome racing because a lot of these drivers would have been practicing for the 12-hour tomorrow, getting themselves prepared for what is to come tomorrow. You know, 12 hours of racing around here takes a lot of practice to get ready for that sort of system and that sort of setup. I think we could see some great racing between drivers here tonight who should have been putting in the time prior to this weekend to get prepared for such a big race.
Yeah, 100%. And I've just noticed I've got 2 of my own drivers in here. I didn't even know they were racing tonight. So how's that sound?
Just more and more liveries you have to make, mate.
Yeah, it is. No one's asked me. I didn't realise the boys were racing tonight.
You forgot about the caddy. You forgot about the Commodore and the caddy. Just 2 Cs.
I did, mate. It's been a hectic week, mate. I've been having meetings with people for next season and chasing current sponsors and all that sort of stuff. So it's been quite crazy, as you know. Penultimate round, so we've got 1 more round left. The calendar is being finalised now for the next season, and that means I need to finalise sponsors as well.
Well, I suppose the beauty of the IMSA Shadow Series is our calendar is already made by whatever iRacing is going to be running next season.
This is true.
So it saves some work. Obviously, though, if there's a track in there that may not be so beneficial for these cars and it gets kind of swapped and changed, maybe for a different layout or a completely different track, you know, if it doesn't really accommodate what is beneficial, like if they were going to go to, I don't know, Chicago and we had 63 drivers, well, you can't line up on Chicago with 63 drivers, so we'd have to change the track. But regardless, Sebring, I mean, it always brings out some great racing. The 12-hour this year, the real-life one, was great from what I saw. I watched pretty much the first 3 hours and then about the last 3 hours. So it was about 6 hours of it that I missed while I was sleeping. But it was a great race nonetheless. And you know, any racing that comes around here, you know, the 8.6s were absolutely hectic the other week when I got the privilege of calling the action around here. And I think tonight we could see some absolutely fantastic action as well. We've got an even sprint of cars out there, 7 GTPs, or actually, no, sorry, 8 GTPs, because I have seen that Stefan McCartney's joined the session, and 8 GTDs. So an even spread, 16 cars out on this beautiful 5.7K track. It's going to offer up some great racing here tonight, as we mentioned. Now, you know, obviously, you know, the drivers are going to want to be thinking about the consistency. It's really getting to the nitty and gritty of this championship sinker. You know, as a driver yourself, although you haven't been in this situation as of yet, if you were in the position of you know, possibly on the cusp of having a nice finish to your championship. Maybe it's a top 3, maybe it's a championship. What mindset do you think you would be trying to promote into yourself to kind of self-prepare for what is to come in the next, in this here tonight and then in next week as well?
Mate, I'm different to most of these boys out there. I'm not all about where I'm going to finish and what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm not in the right mindset to ask that question at all. I go out there and purely my mindset is have fun, have a challenging race, make some passes, and just make the best of the moment that there is. So, it's not a bad way of racing full stop. I think it's an approach that a lot of guys will probably benefit from. Rather than, just putting themselves on the edge. A perfect example would be Dodsey. When he's out there having fun, he's a different driver. He seems to get a lot cleaner, a lot better passes going. So, it's the mindset at the end of the day as well. So, yeah, just take it easy and just have fun, mate. Whatever happens, happens. There's things when you're on a racetrack. Once you get between those white lines, there's a lot of things that are out of your control. So there's no use stressing about it. You just control what you can control. That's my advice.
Well, I suppose then possibly the better question to ask you, possibly the one that's easier for you to answer, going off the history books,
You're
no, not a spin, but you're usually in the position that come the final round, you may not possibly be in that top 3 battle or in that championship battle. How do you go about kind of dealing with, obviously you're battling amongst these guys on track. You don't want to give them too much. You may not want to give positions away, but is there some thought in the back of your mind where you go, hey, I don't really want to have to be the one that ruins this championship for somebody, but I also want to do well as well?
100%. You need to have... Look, when you're on the track, sometimes you forget who the car is in front of you anyway or behind you. It just becomes a car. It doesn't... Unless you're totally focused on what's going around you, like as far as who's there and what's there. But most of the time, you'll see what's in front of you and behind you, and that's a bit... You're watching the deltas. Are you aware of, say, for instance, if there's someone fighting for a title fight? Maybe not always, but when you do have that awareness, you will think twice about it. Should I put it in this spot? This guy's fighting for a title. I'm not really in contention with there. You need to be thinking that in the back of your head. Also, like when I'm sitting as an amateur fighting against pro-ams and the pros, and it's like, well, I want that point. I need those points to go up, to get up a ladder, because I need to get more points back. But also, at the end of the day, you need to remember that I'm not racing these guys. So there's a reason why they're a pro-am. There's a reason why I'm an am, because they're faster.
Yeah.
So, you need to be logical about these things as well.
No, that's exactly right, man. I think also as well, drivers remembering that, I guess the GTD drivers have the benefit of they've been dealing with the faster class of car coming through the whole season. Obviously, the GTP, it's faster on circuit. Maybe they need to bring that mindset into their heads of, hey, you know what? I've actually got a faster car coming now, but they're a faster car in terms of where they are in this championship. Let's just, take it a little bit easy here and maybe not push too hard to defend against them, but don't just give it up either. Where I think it might be a little bit harder for the GTPs, for those drivers who are out of the championship. They're still going to want to be fighting hard, but they're going to have to deal with passing the traffic of the slower cars whilst letting the faster cars pass them who are in that championship battle as well. So it can be quite a nice little test for them here tonight.
It is. You know what? It's all about mindset. It really is. And confidence levels too. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. The last time I was racing V8s, so it's been a while. It's been nearly 2 seasons now, 3 seasons, whatever it was. Dikey was out there racing, and I was in there as well before we had amateurs and pro-ams. And he goes, mate, you didn't have to let me go past. And I said, yeah, but the likelihood of me holding you up and then ruining my race and your race is probably really high. I'm better off just letting you get in front of me and tag on the back of you. It's like I'll probably learn more and be a lot faster.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, it's a good mindset to have as a driver and as a racer, and it's kind of the mindset a lot more drivers need to be able to take. So, but in qualifying now, first lap's just getting completed at this point. So Harry Dodds managed to cross the line first, although I don't think his lap time has actually been counted here in qualifying. But Benjamin Brook, his teammate's time, has 2 minute 1 second point 5. Faulkner's on an absolute flyer at the moment. I don't know if his time's actually been counted though, because it hasn't gone up on the timing tower. So I'd say, no, Barb's has though. Barb's has gone even faster, a 2 minute dead 0.2. So there's a little bit of time within the lap. obviously it is a long lap though. Singer. It's kind of like Bathurst though. That's, I believe it might have been Joshua Houghton having the spin in the background. It was indeed Familiar Motorsports driver. So just kind of getting to grips with the car track combination here tonight. I know those boys would have been practicing. They will definitely be having a run tomorrow in the 12-hour. But it's currently Barb's, Brooke to Dyson at the moment, who have actually completed the laps. Mick Clifton, though, crosses the line to actually go and become the fastest Ferrari out on track at the moment with a time of 2:01 dead. So that's a quality lap from him. I don't know why... Oh, no, Stefan McCartan's out there, but he's actually changed cars, so we're actually going to have to change his car class. So I would assume that he's given up his points to driving the GT car. He's probably also using this race, I would say, to actually get ready for tomorrow's 12-hour. I'm assuming that CXR are probably actually racing in a GTD car tomorrow.
Yeah. Tell you what, these cars look amazing, don't they?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. They are some of my favorite cars on the service. Like,
yeah, 100%. The tell you what, Faulkner's on a bit of a perler again. He's had some purple, orange, purple, orange, purple, orange. He's on a purple at the moment.
Hopefully it is a lap that he can hold together, and it has been a clean one for him to at least count here in qualifying. Now, the difference between this race,
looks like a purple all the way through.
Oh, this could be a fast end to the lap. I was about to say, the one thing that's different between tonight's race and the race that's happening tomorrow is qualifying is a little bit more important tonight because it is a shorter run home. Crosses the line. Is it good enough? It is P1.
1:59.
What a lap.
Whoa. Wow, that's pretty good. I thought he hit the wall then because the way it was hidden behind the fence line there.
Yeah.
He just made it through by the look of it. That was a great little pillar of a lap. Stephen McCartan's on full greens. Andrew Dyson, he's got 2 oranges at the very end there.
So Stefan's time is not counted. He must have had an off track on the last lap. Dyson, though, giving his teammate Chris Island a nice little tow around the track at the moment. So probably just trying to better his lap.
Do you like their liveries? That's a nice livery, though.
I'm a bit more impartial to the other Sebring's liveries that you can see out on track.
This is
no, they do
very,
look nice.
very real world reminiscent of what the Porsches look like. Like the livery. That's a real nice livery, though. That's very classy.
Yeah.
I like it.
I find that sometimes, especially with GTs, it's either the art cars look good when they're really overdone, or like regular liveries look nice when they're just nice and simple. Like you don't work too hard for it.
That's right on my taste buds, that one. Nice, simple, clear. The sponsors are really visible, but a bit of class about it as well. Very, very nice livery, that. Full credit to whoever designed that.
It's a very professional looking outfit. And I'm a bit more partial to their white-based livery than we've seen one of their teammates previously this season run a red-based livery. And I don't think it suits as well as what the white does with the red as the accent. Just for me
Porsche always with that sort of silvery white always looks really good. I think when there's too much colour in a Porsche, it makes it look like a toy.
As we click over to Greg Barber, Ben Faulkner. This car is actually really nice as well. Even though they have got the pattern on the back of it, I think it's nice and bright. You can tell what it is out on track as well. But then we move over to the CXR car, which I just think this actually works quite nice. Again, the art cars look good when they are overdone, like when there is so much on the car, it all kind of blends together.
The only problem is it's really hard to promote your sponsor.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, Schutz is just visible because I know what it is. Palmerston, I know what it is, so I'm looking for it, so I know what it is. So, Stefan, they need to be simpler. All right, you've got to give your sponsors a bit more of a clearer base so they can stand out and pop.
Not necessarily.
I do like the Schutz Formula 3 Schutz car is really nice. The one Callum drive.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
Which I think that might be their older style, where it's like the black and yellow kind of look. As
having
a lot of trouble staying connected to the server right now, so we may actually see him drop out at some point here tonight. Hopefully not for his sake, but hopefully the blinking can stop. Josh Houghton, who's a bit up the road.
Okay, he's
dropping in and out. So
he's had the bad internet.
Yeah, hopefully that can stabilise. So I would say for the CXR cars, as we're just talking about liveries at this point for qualifying, I would say I like the pattern on it, but maybe just, make that more of like an accent style. They've got like the I know you told me what the pattern is called, but I always call it the flannel pattern. Yeah,
Hingham?
yeah. That's what they have in the
that
back.
down to about 20% fade, so it's not as bold, and over the purple, so the black is just the pattern's just visible. Gives the logos a bit more pump. Yeah.
Either
but
that
anyway,
or cut it out with either some white or some kind of just like black, like shaped out areas that for where your sponsors go, and then you have those be like your little accent spots. And
this is just our personal choice.
Yeah,
this is no criticism. Stefani does some really good jobs out there.
Yeah, they look nice.
But that's just personal. I do like the new crisscross logo though. The CSR. That's pretty cool. They brought that in I think a couple of seasons, about halfway through last year. Really nice. I like it better than the star one they had, which is a little bit more like Rockstar logo. Yeah.
Well, we are just coming up on 11 minutes into this qualifying session, so these GTD cars have got about 4 minutes left to set some lap times before the GTPs are unleashed onto this beautiful Sebring circuit out here. A couple of chats already. Sean Benici saying, let's go Froggies. And Ty Delaney, the young guppy out there, saying, good luck, boys, and then asking how the broadcast boys are going. I'm going pretty good. Lucky to not lose my voice yesterday at the festival I went to. Not lucky enough, though, to not get sunburnt. So,
yeah. I'm loving it, mate. I'm loving it. I'm loving F1 today. I watched a lot of it. I'm a bit over the Ricardo knockers. But apart from that, loving it. It's my favourite time of the year. And first Grand Prix I've missed in ages, which really sucks. But anyway, we'll make the most of the whole weekend.
Well, one thing I've noticed, Sinker, is there is a car in the GTDs that is abhorrently stronger than the rest of them. Top 7 cars are all Porsche 992s. And then we get into the Fezzes, and then we get into the Merc down the bottom end of town. So the rear engine or mid-engine style of car is apparently the more preferable choice at the moment, but it is also looking to be the strongest choice at the moment. So Faulkner's going to come across the line. He's only betted one sector that he's done so far across this lap. It's not going to be better than the 159 that he hit previously. There's only one other driver to get a 59.
200.
Yep.
Nick Clifton of the 201 just then, so he's bettered his last. Oh no, he isn't. He's just a little bit less than his best time. His best time is a 201.075.
On board now with Lewis Greathead.
Team of Vermilion have got both their drivers in under the 2-minute mark. The only wants to do it so far, so they're really settled in. I think Porsche, like you said, it just suits this track. It's the R set is really bedded down. It allows them to put the power on when they want it.
I think the BOP is probably suiting at the moment as well. It would have come out today for the 12-hour tomorrow, and I'm sure that it's suiting the Porsche at the moment. Apparently the Lambo feels a lot nicer nowadays, but unfortunately Mr. Leak is not out there to let us know. Neither is Mr. Benici. Said he's in the chat. He's saying, I prefer the Audi followed by the Macca here. Very interesting. I suppose, and it also comes down to what you're comfortable in driving as well.
Yeah,
it's
also
GT cars
on
are
what kind of driver you are.
Yeah,
exactly. I've got no idea what's good.
Well, the GT cars, unlike the supercars, are not all the same. They do actually behave differently. You know, depending on where you're going, what the BOP is currently set at, and how you've also set up the car as well. So they are all unique, and they can all suit you in some certain way, or go towards your style in some certain way. Jason Douglas in chat as well saying I'd rather watch supercars than F1. F1 just got too much aero. I mean, I love aero racing. F1 is way too dominated by. It's been dominated by two people pretty much over the last 10 years, or two teams really over the last 14 years since 2010. Red Bull and Mercedes have been the only two championship-winning cars. Let's get Fez back up there. Let's even get a new team, maybe the Aston Martin up there or something like that. Get a new challenger to the greats.
GTP's getting ready to come out, mate.
Yep, they shall be coming out in a moment's time. Yep. So this is going to be the last opportunity for these GTD cars to set a lap. Now, they can finish their lap if they start it before the end of the 15 minutes, as the GTPs will have to get out of their way. But if they have not, if they start it and then finish it, they can't go again, after that 15 minutes. So that is the cutoff. It's 15 plus the one lap if you start it before the end of that 15. But Greathead coming around. He wants to try and better this time. He's on 4 greens at the moment, 1 orange.
Planted, mate.
Oh,
that car looks really planted. Have a look at it going through these corners. it's almost stuck on rails the way it's sitting on that track.
The crown defects off that car must be absolutely immense. They have probably got this thing fine-tuned to an absolute T. And again, this is what the practice over the last couple of weeks would have been going towards, is setting this car up for 12 hours tomorrow. They've probably also got it set up.
Look at that.
Oh, it's just
The
no
way it's
body
sticking
roll
to
at
the
all.
road.
Oh,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Great Egg's
It
going to come.
looks so planted.
It does. Is he actually going to do my car number proud and actually get this car into the top 3? No, he goes top 5. So that will be an end for Lewis Greathead's qualifying at the moment. That'll be a top 5. But Stefan McCartan in the CXR car will pip him, and he'll get into the top 5 himself. Chris Island is the only man out on track in the GTD car category to be able to finish another lap here. He started it before the end of the 15 minutes. So we'll see if he can go any better, but it's currently all orange sectors for him at this stage.
Look at the way this car's dancing compared, did you see that?
Oh, that was so stable over that curve, and that curve is
but did you
known
see
to
the
spit you
lift?
out. Yeah.
The lift. The Vermaelen car was just a lot more planted. All 4 tyres, traction was all on all 4 tyres. It looked a lot nicer through the corners. It looked like a lot more stability coming through there.
I have to wonder if that Vermilion car is more set up to have a bit more downforce on it in preparation for the rain tomorrow. And they're just running with their 12-hour setup here tonight to be able to practice.
He's hit the wall. He's tagged it.
Well, I don't know if he has. The wall is kind of indented back there. He's finished the time. It's going to be no better for him, though. But out it is, the time and the test for the GTP drivers.
Did I just see the Batmobile?
Yeah, it's done up like the 1980s Batman logo.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, great livery. Good bit of fun.
So that is
Who am I watching right now?
Shane Newens at the moment out there in the number 703 car. So Fritzy in the chat saying much drier than what they'll be racing in this weekend here. 100% Fritzy. They have already said it's going to be raining at the 12 hours. So if any of them have been practicing for it, they would have been practicing in the rain, and they'd have a specific setup for that for sure, because you don't want to make the same mistake that cohort Mr. Nixon did a couple of weeks ago in our little rain session where he ran about 2 wing and the car just spun round.
Oh, yeah, he had struggled big time, didn't he?
Yeah. Like, he was still quick, but the car was just unpredictable in the rain. So
yeah, I remember he was coming down the straight, and all of a sudden the car just pitched to the left and hitting the wall just by catching a puddle at the front. I think his rake was too high. Everything was an issue. That's what a lot of people are going to discover, that if your car's sitting too low and wet in some of these tracks, you catch that water, it's gonna grab you.
Well, I think it's going to be a very interesting first-time test this weekend for a special event with rain, being that this track is that multi-composite, layout of circuit. It has that concrete, has that tarmac, concrete combination at certain sections as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is quite bumpy, so it'll have a fair amount of standing water on it as well. So it'll be a good test for drivers to kind of get used to the rain. Obviously, 12 hours driving in the wet, if the whole thing is wet, well, no better way to learn how to drive in the rain than that. But it could be a long 12 hours
wet
as well.
Wet isn't going to be the hard bit. I think when it starts drying, that's going to be some of the hard bit, because I don't reckon iRacing's got that bit just down pat yet. We noticed when we had our wet day, the track looked like it was drying, but we were watching the rooster tails, and the rooster tails were still there. While the rooster tail was still there, it was still wet weather running. So that's going to be, I reckon that's going to be the tricky bit for him.
So Scott Hazel's going to be the first to cross the line. He will go P1, but Brandon Grotch, his teammate, is on an absolute flyer at the moment. As he comes across, he will not take P1. He must have had an off track at some point throughout the lap. So Scotty Hasler currently still sits P1 at this stage. Josh King has gone P2. Still without his new team's livery on the car at the moment, but he sits P2. Shane Newlands goes P3 at the moment. Young Guppy Ty Delaney starts out on another lap now, so he'll try and get going here, but Grotch is already starting to set the pace. 1 purple in the first sector already.
I wonder where the rest of the fish are gone tonight, mate. There's
we got Adam Simpson out there, but he's not out on track, so I reckon he might have a rear of grid.
Well, I don't see Mr. Whitey out there. I don't see Delaney Senior.
Mr. McGuire either.
Yeah, so where are these boys
Well,
tonight?
Mr. Whiting would have been coming off his debut at Vets last night, so maybe he's having a rest up from that. Or he might be somehow down here for the Grand Prix. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Well, the boys, are pretty hooked up. Delaney Senior's pretty hooked up. He might have got the boys into the event, so they're probably all sitting there having a few quiet ones now after the event, no doubt.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure Coleman's wishing he had that flask at the moment.
Yes, he probably is. He probably is. I've been a very busy day today. I've actually today had a meeting regarding Season 1 trophies and finalising the design for them. So everything is on a big go. What's going on with this car?
He's coming through. It's just super bumpy.
It sounds shocking, doesn't it?
It's just that's just what happens. It is the bumps. But Grotch will go P1 with an immense lap around there. 142.73. Hasler is a further 7/10 off that lap time. So Grotch has got this thing tuned up to absolute perfection. Brad Anderson will be the last to come around now to set a lap this current time by. We'll see what he can do in this car. Just needs to get more seat time in this car. I think it'll help him when he eventually gets up to A class and he's actually able to drive this car a bit more often. But I think, as we've said previously, he will get the benefit if he tries to go through the roadmap of prototype cars from LMP3 into LMP2 and then up to GTP.
That car's going to look sick with a Team SRW graphics all over. I've actually got a livery for it already. I didn't know he was racing it. Otherwise, I would have given it to him. So that's a shame. Jason Douglas, when we running in the rain? Next season, mate. Next season, we will be running on real world weather. So it will be up to the gods on when the rain's gonna come out and bless us with its presence and entertainment. So we will definitely be racing in the rain next season in wherever we can. I think that's the 86s in this series.
The SF24 as well.
And 86s, the Formula 3. Which is super light.
Yep.
And anything else that we manage to get up. So, we are looking at 2 more series. We are looking for sponsors for them. So if you're keen to get your name out there, or you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone, let that person that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone know me.
Well, those 2 series, unfortunately, as we've previously spoken about them, do not have rain currently, but maybe they'll get them in future seasons. I think with the announcement for the TCRs in iRacing, getting the fact that there's actually now going to be an official TCR series in iRacing, and there'll be more manufacturers. I think it won't be too long until they get rain. And then, the Porsche Cup cars, they're a nice little C-Class series, so they will likely get rain fairly soon, but I'd say it's going to be like GT4s and LMP3 to get it before those cars. But
look at the way these cars handle at this part of the track. It's just so much smoother, so much more planted. They get to the start-finish line, they just all of a sudden just like bouncing everything.
Yeah, because of the amount of bumps that are out at the final turn and down the straight, it is.
Yeah, that is just shocking part of the track.
Oh, it is.
Listen to the engine now, and listen to it once it comes past this corner. We'll just be shush for a while. Here it is.
It is so struggling through there.
Oh, isn't it? It sounds like it's choking on its own oxygen.
I know.
The way it's bouncing up and around. It sounds like reminiscent of a Volkswagen.
I was going to say, it sounds like it's got water in the plugs and it's just hydrolocking.
Look at Fritzy.
That's a big off-throw from Grosh.
Possibly, Fritzy. We just need the money to finance it, mate. Oh,
and that's a big off from Grosh.
Too late.
Once they go. They are so hard to catch.
Yeah. So where have we got? The leading car at the moment is a 142.725 Brendan Grouch. Second is Scott Hasler on a 143.425. Third, Shane Newens. Fourth, Ben Anderson. No, I'll correct that. Ty Delaney is up before Anderson and Newens. So looking good out there. The times are it's a bit of a split in times there. I think Grouch is going to tear away with it currently. He's 2 seconds ahead of everyone.
Yeah, he is. So, Jace, just to confirm, so the SF24 is the Super Formula Light. The SF23 is the regular Super Formula. We'll be using the SF24 next season, and the F3s will be transferring over to become the Shannon's SF24 Nationals with the changeover of car. So that's what'll be coming for Season 2. So the F3 will just get a bit of a name change, but it'll be the same championship. It'll run with the same lineage as the Formula 3 championship. It's not a brand new championship, so it's just a change of car and a change of regulation, pretty much.
Yep.
So
We'll be using that car for the F1 Shadow Series. So there's 2 races between the seasons, and it will get its debut then, and the rain will be available as well. So we'll see what happens there. It'll be our first foray into a live rain racing.
And those races as well, for the first time in a fair while, will be broadcasted as well in between the seasons too. So we will actually.
We did them all last year.
Not all of them, I don't recall.
Oh, we didn't do the first few, didn't we? Yes, correct.
There were a couple that we missed
on
last year, but we are going to attempt at least to get every single one broadcasted. So
We
they can
will,
all go on
we
their own
will,
fold.
we will, we definitely will. Definitely will, because there's going to be a lot of fun to be had. Ty's out there warming up his tyres. He's coming up for a big lap by the look of it.
Oh, he's going to go for a big push, so
Yeah.
get on board with him and see what he can do across this lap, and just see if he can better his time in any way here tonight. So on board now with Ty Delaney as he starts his next lap. Hopefully he can keep this clean, keep it mean, just set some good pace for himself. He is currently P3 and he's trying to take it to the big boys in the Froggy cars up ahead. Of course, his teammate Adam Simpson yet to set a lap time in this qualifying session. I do believe he has a rear of grid for not making it back to the pits the last time he raced on the parade lap. But that will be confirmed when we do go to grid if that is the case. But you know, Ty's had some proper character building races across all the series he races in SRW. But again, they are making him a better driver at the end of the day, Sinker, and they are giving him opportunities to learn new things and spread his wings a little bit in his prowess for race driving.
He's pretty much racing everything but the Formula 3 and the Formula V. So anything that's got a roof on it, he's been in. So he's doing them all. The 86s, the V8s. So he's definitely getting plenty of seat time. And as me and you have both spoken about, he has lifted a massive level in the last few weeks.
Well, I'm sure if he's able to fit it in as well, he'll get in the Porsche Cup cars and get to it like a duck to water, pretty much. Being able to have another tin top out there as well. Maybe he even gives the TCRs a crack. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see.
Well, that's a lot of racing, mate. He needs to do some schoolwork too.
That is a lot of racing. Hey, no. If he can get fast enough, he doesn't need school. He can just become a race driver.
I was watching. Was it Courtney, the blonde dude from? Courtney. I was watching on F1 TV today, and didn't realise how actually fast he was in the Formula Fords and go-karts.
Well,
and that.
He
was
raced in Europe.
unlucky.
Yeah, he raced in Europe.
Well,
he was a bit like
he crashed the Jaguar,
Yeah.
and he was miles ahead on pace than everyone else, and he couldn't race because of the amount of damage he did to himself, and missed out on a F1 contract.
Well, I think
we're
it was
talking about
because
the likes
he
of,
crashed it. That was the reason why they gave the seat to Clean instead.
Well, not only that, no, it was they wanted him to race again, but the swelling on the brain meant that he was out for 6 to 8 weeks. So he actually cost him his championship in the Formula Ford or wherever it was, and then also at the end of the day, just he missed out on his opportunity in seat.
Yeah, it was. It's quite interesting how much pace he once had back when he was.
Mate,
younger.
he was. From what I saw today and what I read afterwards, he was a lot faster than all those guys that are out there.
Yeah.
And just think of it, he was racing at Jaguar, who turned into Red Bull later on. The position he might have been there instead of.
He could have been in Webber's position in 2010.
Well, yeah, he could have been in Webber's position. Correct. It could have been 2 Aussies in the Jaguar. You know, it was. I think it was Eddie Lawson.
I mean, instead of Webber, it would have been Vettel
he might have been,
and Courtney.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting. But that's life. He's still racing. He's still loving life, and he's happy at home. So it's what could have been. It's one of those what could have been stories.
Oh, it's the same with Richie Stanaway when he raced in F3 as Valtteri Bottas's teammate as well. What could have been for him too. But end of qualifying coming up now. Not many laps left to be run. We're less than a minute here to go. Brad Anderson is the last one out there trying to attempt to better his lap time at the moment. He's not as far off the pace as he has previously been. He's only about 1.5 seconds off the back of Shane Newens. So he's gaining a little bit of pace in this car. But again, I think, this is a tough car just to hop in and race. And as a C-Class driver, it's incredibly difficult to do because you don't have any other opportunity to drive it. And he hasn't had an opportunity prior to getting to C-Class to race a prototype. Where now he has the opportunity to race in the LMP3, but I don't know if he's doing that just yet. But this is definitely a car that benefits you if you do race throughout the the roadmap that they lay out for you. It's like someone jumping straight into the F1 car as soon as they get onto the service. It's very, very difficult. And again, it would just benefit him from going through that roadmap kind of pathway. But he's going to come across the line. Is it going to be a better lap time for him this time by... it is, in fact. He goes 149.63. Still not better enough to get into P5, but it is at least an improvement for him, and you take those any day of the week, don't you, Sinker?
Oh, 100%. We've seen it before. You don't have to be the fastest on the grid to win a race. You need to keep it clean and keep sharp, stay out of trouble. And from what I've seen, this can get quite messy here and there, like any other race.
It can, and we know how messy it got in the 8.6s around Sebring a couple of weeks ago. Big old pile up at the final corner. Could it come in tonight? Quite possibly. Curb of Death could claim some victims as well out before the Le Mans straight out on the kind of what is the airstrip of this circuit. No rocket launches here tonight. Don't worry. I know that I've done that previously out at Sebring. There are no rocket launches happening out there here tonight, but what we are going to have is an absolute launching of cars out on track, and they are going to be rocketing around this brilliant Sebring circuit. That was a nice little segue, as cheesy as it was. But qualifying will be coming to an end. We'll then get the cars out on track for tonight's 45-minute affair. It is penultimate round action. It is all on for this championship, whether it's between teammates or not. It's all on between Hasler and Grosh. Faulkner's got a fair gap over Dyson at the moment in this championship for the GTDs. But anything could happen, They could have a poor night tonight, drop some points. If they've had a donut prior to this round, then they can't drop this round. And then next week, if they have an absolute shocker, well, they're not allowed to drop the last round anyway. Anything could happen. They're not leading the championship by an unwinnable amount of points. It's just an improbable case that you'd actually overtake them at some point. But we'll have to wait and see how they go. So awaiting the end of qualifying, race controller over the radio. Not sure quite yet what they're saying to the drivers out there, but we will get ready to go running soon.
Sorry, my earpiece fell out. Tyson is just giving them the race brief, saying,
so what we will get prepared to do is we will get prepared to go for our rolling start here. It'll be a full lap rolling start for these drivers. This gives us absolutely plenty of time to run through our starting grid here tonight. Brandon Grotch will start at a pole position for Frog Leap Juice Racing. It's a Frog Leap front row lockout once again this season, with Scotty Hasler lining up alongside in P2. Ty Delaney will then line up in behind for Fishy Motorsports, with Josh King out of P4 alongside him. It'll then be Shane Newens in P5 for Mauler Racing, ahead of Brad Anderson in P6, with Adam Simpson lining up in P number 7 for Fishy Motorsports. It is then Ben Faulkner in P8 on the road, P1 for the GTDs for Vermilion Motorsport, with his teammate Josh Houghton lining up in behind in P9 on the road, P2 in class. He'll then have Andrew Dyson next to him for DPR, with Chris Island, his teammate, in behind him, with Stefan McCartan making up the top 5 in that class. Lewis Greathead will then line up in behind them alongside Greg Barber. Benjamin Brook and Mick Clifton, both the Ferraris, line up in P15 and 16. Then we rounded our grid with Harry Dodds and Ryan Jones at the end of the field, which I believe it is actually Ryan Jones who races that red DPR car that I mentioned in qualifying. I do believe he does drive that one, but I'm not sure if he's driving it here tonight. But we're going to have about 3 minutes of... we've got about a minute and a half until gridding up is finalised, and then we've got about what'll be a 3-minute lap behind the safety car, so
yeah,
plenty of time to discuss the action.
To have a quick chat about points. Brendan Grouch is sitting on 2,014 points, followed by Scott Hasler in the GTPs, who's sitting on 1,781 points, 173-point gap. Behind him is Adam Simpson with a 161-point gap. So those boys are still in contention. Ty is actually only 38 points behind Simpson, and Troy Maguire, who's not here tonight, is 33. In the GT3s, Ben Faulkner of Vermilion Motorsports sitting on 2,494 points, and the next guy behind him is Andrew Dyson from Simrig's DPR. He is 267 points behind him on 1997.
Okay,
Greg
so
Barber,
just to confirm, just quickly, Sinker, the gap is of the points after the drop round, not the total points.
Yes, correct.
So that gap is actually not off the back of the 2,400 points. It's off the back of the 2264 points that Faulkner has. So yeah, just to confirm that.
So the top three are still in. Look, there's a big gap between each one. There's 2 rounds left. I guess you need to finish these 2 rounds solid. I think Ben Faulkner has already got 1 hand and a couple of pinkies on the trophy already. And there could be another one there for Vermilion Motorsports. But time will tell. We have a race tonight, the penultimate round, and then the final round next week. So there's going to be a lot of points still to be gained left and right. GTP, GT3. Good luck to all the lads out there.
Well, as mentioned, it is going to be a nice little slow run around behind the iRacing safety car for these GTP drivers. The GTD cars have gotten away, but they are a little bit further back, so they've actually given us a nice little buffer for their race start here tonight. But, you know, it'll be all about warming up yourselves, warming up your car a little bit. Simpson is not out on track, so he has missed the start at this stage unless he is starting from the lane. If he is not starting from the lane, then there will only be 6 GTP cars out on track, 11 GTD cars out there. They are being led off by Ben Faulkner. The GTPs, of course, being led off by Brandon Grotch. So it'll be very interesting to see who's going to get the boost here tonight and who might take home the chocolates out here at Sebring. Put your predictions into the chat who you think may be able to take out the win here tonight. I know how strong those Sproggies have been this season, but it only takes one mistake to lose it all, and it's very easy to make it around here, Sinker, out at Sebring with the curb of death, with running a little bit too wide through corners, civilly around turn 1 and even into turn 2. You can loop it very easily in these types of cars. So if the young Guppy could keep it clean, he might be up there. Maybe we can see Josh King and Shane Newlands, or possibly even Brad Anderson, challenge for some positive positions here tonight. So we'll have to wait and see how they're going to go in these prototype cars.
Well, we could get a Team SRW lockout.
Of personal experience of calling this action, this is nothing against Josh King and Brad Anderson, but I do not see that being a high likelihood.
Mate,
just based on how strong.
You can win gold medals from the back.
That's
you can win
true.
races from the back.
That is true, and I'm not doubting the possibility of that happening, but I'm going off the facts of Brandon Grotch and Scott Hasler have been uber consistent and uber strong all season.
They are next level drivers. They definitely are. They're coming up to the final corner now. They're on the back straight, so they'll be released soon. But you know what I can say to my boys out there is just keep your nose clean, keep it on the bitumen and concrete, and the rest will take itself.
Hopefully we don't match Cowie's levels of commentator's curse here tonight.
Yeah, he's next level gypsy, isn't he?
Oh, no. And he's beating himself up so much about that on Wednesday night. Poor
Here we
Cowie.
go. The safety car's pulling away.
So let's get ready to go racing around Sebring. Lights are going to go out in just a moment's time. It'll be Grotch with the control over the field. Green light has been called. Green flag is waving. Let's go racing here out at Sebring with the GTP cars. Grotch leads Hasler away. Delaney did well to hold out in P3 as they come through turn number 1 for the first time. You can see them all just trying to keep it nice and clean, but that's running wide there for Shane Newlands in the background, who's going to drop a spot to Josh King, unfortunately for him. Very easy to do. Brad Anderson way too overzealous under brakes, and that's into the wall already, and that could be day done.
He was trying to avoid hitting him the way it came through, but he just needed to just back off, let go of the brake, and let the car do the turning for him. These boys are all very closely backed up. Have a look at this. These cars aren't even breathing.
Cars parked right underneath the Vermilion rear wing. They are ready to jump at a moment's notice. But it's green flag running here for the GTDs. It was a great start by the top 4 as they all start to spread out through turn number 1 for the first time here tonight as they make their way
He's
through.
he's maintained it. Oh, no.
Oh, no, that was the wrong one. Oh, but there's been massive contact, and that is an absolute pile-up.
Oh, no.
Ireland's been involved, as well as Brooke. I believe McCartan's involved too, as well as Dodsey. That is a massive pile-up.
Didn't want to see that.
I believe Brad Anderson's also
Safety
parked up on
car
the
is
side of the
out.
road.
Safety car is out. Brad's car's gone. He's just gone in a bit too hot and tried to avoid that other car, and unfortunately that's cost him the front end, and he's buried his car there. But the boys back then, it looked like someone, I'm not sure who the second Vermilion car was, but it looked like it had its nose cut off a little bit, but it's hard to tell. It was happened very quickly.
Well, we're going to check out the replay just quickly here as we are coming up under safety car. So they got their race start nice and clean. We're looking at kind of focusing on Stefan McCartan just for the moment here. Oh, we're still on quarter speed, unfortunately, but as we come through full speed, see, there was a little bit of a knock there with Dyson and the Vermilion car, and there's Ireland in the kind of inside line.
Yeah, whoever that second Vermilion car was sort of touched a little bit on the inside of that other car.
It was
it's hard
great
to tell
hit,
who.
I do believe.
I'm not going to comment on who's turned in or who hasn't, but so unfortunate. There's the slightest of touches.
As they come through, we'll try and get at quarter speed just to kind of get the most out of it. Here's Chris Ireland on the inside.
Yeah, there was the touch just
there.
there.
That's Houghton on the outside there. He kind of just cut in, didn't realise Ireland was there, and then it's just all hell breaks loose. Massive check-ups and a massive pile-up through turn one.
Bastards trying to get away and trying to get through. It was just days of thunder. There was no holes. No holes. Look at that. Oh, man. I feel for the boys.
So the safety car is now out on track for us here tonight. Not
you know
many
what?
position
The only good thing
changes.
about that whole thing is that pretty much everyone needs repairs except for the front three cars.
That's right. So everyone's kind of in the same book now, apart from those kind of top 3 or 4 cars that currently sit. Jones somehow managed to kind of spread the gap and just find a little way through. So he did actually pull off a bit of a cold trickle there, but the GTP's now back behind the safety car. Obviously, the GTDs will be able to catch up to them now, so they'll be right on the back of them here for the restart. But safety car is out on track for the first time here tonight. So not that surprising that we have a safety car, but I thought they may have lasted longer than turn one. I'm going to be honest.
I thought it was going to last a lot longer. I know this track's a bit of a devil and it takes control sometimes, but I thought the boys would get around there cleaner. It's the problem is that first turn, it just tapers off and it keeps tapering off until it gets to the very to the third corner, wherever it is.
It's almost turn one is almost Southern Loop-esque, where it kind of has 2 apexes about it, and
with a shitload of bouncing,
and
lack of control,
yeah. So it kind of unsettles the car as you go through, and you got to be fully confident you're going to make it through there. And you can sometimes sneak up the inside, but if someone turns in to get that apex on the corner, similar to what was done, then again all holes breaks loose.
And nicely they leave that brown dirt there, so it narrows up. The brown dirt's there, so you can lose it really quickly in there. And then if you do get some dirt on your tyres, because everyone's trying to squeeze from 4 cars wide to 1 car wide, you got the tight left-hander, and if you've got dirty tyres, it's all over Red Rover. So it's just asking for trouble.
So what this will mean now is we're going to lose a little bit of time here on track for racing action, whilst being behind the safety car. Now, it may not mean that we're going to be on a safety car for too much longer once the cars are off the track, which I believe the safety car is now pulling away. Give us opportunities to talk about this as well.
No, there's nothing been said yet about pulling away.
We've still got another lap, so they're still going.
Yeah, there's been no voicing from race control whether there's going to be another lap or safety cars pulling in. He hasn't stated it, so therefore I'd probably suggest that the safety car will be out for 1 more lap. Because he needs to get all the GT3s back on track.
Yeah, I'd say now that they've actually caught the back of the GTP field, this will be 1 lap under safety car, and then we'll go racing once again. Only car not to come back out on track is Stefan McCartan after that first lap incident at the moment. So
race control is just asked the safety car to speed up a bit to 120 kilometres to get the last lap a bit quicker done. Pit exit is currently closed.
McCartan's the only one in there. Is he in there because of damage?
Yeah, he copped damage, but I think he may have decided that that's race over for him, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. One thing I've realised as well...
Yes. Is he staying in there and not using his fast repair in case there's another one for later on?
Maybe, but why would you at this point? Why would you risk that going a lap down?
It might be all right. It might put him in the lead position.
I doubt it at this point.
Well, what's the chance of another safety car?
There are chances, but he's going to have to get the waiver. Okay, so the issue is, Sinker, is he's going to need 2 more safety cars because he's a lap down, so he's going to have to get his lap back on his leader of his class. And then he's going to be able to get his benefit of actually, possibly needing to use the fast repair again. You can never guarantee that you're ever going to need that fast repair in a race. So if you do come up and need it, you might as well use it. It's one of those things. One of the things I found out the other day, actually, it's one thing for us to keep in mind for next season, seeing as we could get rain in this series, is rain actually extends how long a stint length is in a race. So a regular stint length for a GT car, for example, is about an hour. Now around here, a stint length in the wet is actually 1 hour and 20 because you're doing slower lap times to get to your total amount of laps for your stint, which is around about 30 laps of this track.
Yeah, so we do timed racing.
No, that's right. But what it will mean is say if we were to do a 45-minute race and their fuel is set to last them half an hour on a dry track, it may last them the whole race under wet running because they're doing slower lap times.
Just do that. Yeah. 100%. There's a lot of factors there, isn't there? I'd like to see iRacing take it a step further now and select hard and soft tyres and wet. So you have hard, soft, and wet. I think it would bring another level to the racing in the dry now.
Well, I think that will...
Safety car is coming in.
Yep.
Lights are out.
Lights are out, so
He's
it'll be coming
away.
in. I think different compounds for dry tyres will likely come in once they've perfected their wet tyre model. And hell, they may even bring in intermediate style tyres for the wet as well, for those little changeover periods. Safety car's going to pull away, though. We're going to get ready to go racing once again here out at Sebring. 8 minutes, 22 seconds into proceedings, so we've lost about 7 minutes of running in this race here tonight. The safety car is going to pull away. It is going to pull into the lane. It'll be Brandon Grotch with control of the field in the background there. You can see them all just kind of getting out of line just so that they don't risk getting into contact with the faster cars ahead of them.
Leader has
and in
the
case
field.
there's some balking as well.
Yep. Leader has the field. Pretty sure they should be all sitting in line.
Yep, which they are indeed. No one's going past anyone. They just don't want to be...
the GTs were going side by side a little bit. Yeah, they need to be all in a line and going for it hell for leather. Let's see how they go.
Well, he's gone
Here
off
we go.
the end of the
Flips down, we're
apex.
racing.
We are racing, so let's go here out at Sebring. Second green flag running period here tonight. This is how they currently run.
GT3 is the 3 wide down the back. I hope they make it clean for this first section. Oh no! Close my eyes, Steve. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, a real pucker moment right there, but they managed to get through cleanly.
That was code brown.
Oh, for sure. A couple of GT stripes on the SRW livery for next season, I reckon. But,
yeah. I just the worst time for another safety car is just after the safety car.
Yeah.
That's the time where it's going to happen if it's going to happen straight away.
So they've all kind of settled themselves now, taken a breath, and get ready to go running once again.
There's a few sniffing around, throwing their cars around in the back there. I'm just watching them. It looks like the Juice Boys are trying to get their positions back as quick as possible. Don't forget, boys, your tyres are still a bit cold and they're just not as agile. Oh, look at this. Oh, having a go. Yep, keep it clean. Ben Anderson is playing it smart back there. Just stay clean, get your tyres up to temp. You got the pace on these guys. You'll eventually pass them.
He'll get them down the straight for sure. I mean, if he had the confidence, he could probably get it between the two corners that we're just coming up through now. But he may just wait for them at this point. But to make our way through, Faulkner leads to Dyson, to Houghton, to Jones, to Greathead. That's the 5 for the GTDs.
Oh. Look at the difference of these cars going through that S then.
I know.
The different setups is ridiculous. It's a massive difference. And and it could be the difference of getting traction down quicker and slower.
See them all making their way through. Top 5 for the GTPs at the moment is Grotch to Hasler to Delaney to King to Newens. Anderson does get a position down the straight over Benjamin Brooks, so he only managed to get one in the end there. Again, probably just biding his time a little bit, trying to keep it clean. The confidence levels may not be up too much. Mick Clifton's run it wide through the final corner, so it's actually going to make it easier here for Anderson to get that position up. Although he is losing a heap of time to the GTPs ahead of him, but he is on the lead lap, and that is what is important.
The incident at the start and finish that we had early on between CH31 and whoever it was has been deemed no further action.
Yeah,
I'd suggest that
it was more or less a cluster F of an incident, pretty much. You know.
Well, look, at the end of the day, when there's no further action, there's a couple of things I look at. It's was one driver more responsive than the other one? I'd say that at that point of contact, both were probably going slightly different directions, and which caused the impact. So it was a shared responsibility, and that's all there is to it at the end of the day.
On board now with Ben Faulkner at the front of the GTD field. He's got Andrew Dyson in behind him, with Josh Houghton making up the rear of that DPR car at the moment. So a little bit of a Vermilion sandwich happening at this stage. Dyson's teammate Ryan Jones is in his own battle with another Vermilion car of Lewis Greathead in behind him. They've got Greg Barber on their tail, as well as Chris Island too. So the battles are coming all out here, left, right and centre here for the GTDs. Up in GTP land, Brendan Grotch has already extended the gap out to about 2.2 seconds over his adversaries and his teammate Scott Hasler in P2. Delaney follows in P3. So Josh King a little bit further back in P4, and then Shane Newens a bit further back than him in P5. So the prototypes are starting to spread out as the lap times are starting to get quicker and quicker. But all the battles are happening at the moment with the GTD class a little bit further back.
Yeah, they're a lot closer across the field. You can see the big spread of drivers between the GTP guys. It's like you can see there's a few amateurs and a few guys that are really, really good.
Yeah, it more or less comes down to in the iRacing official sort of lobbies you can get, there is still quite a spread sometimes between the prototypes. When you kind of get higher up in the splits, that's when they start to get a little bit closer, but there is a little bit of a pace discrepancy here tonight. And again, it may just come down to the fact that Brandon and Scott are most likely doing the 12-hour tomorrow and the rest of the field aren't, so they've had a bit more time out on this track in their cars getting prepped for the big day tomorrow.
Oh, the Vermilion boys practice like crazy, man. They're really serious about these events, so they would have been put a lot of hours out there. I'm just looking at the way this car sits on the track, mate. It's unreal compared to Chris Island's car. Is that Chris in second?
That's Daiso in second. Island's a little bit further back, but
just comparing to that, it's just so much more settled.
I have to wonder, maybe the Vermilion boys are running a bit of a double diffuser on that car, just giving them that extra ground effect.
Well, here comes Brad Anderson in the GTP.
Yes, he's picking his way through the field now.
He's got a few more to pass. Yeah. It's so much fun passing the slower cars like this. It gives you a bit of an ego boost, like woohoo. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a false sense of a little bit dirt too much there, but he still kept it planted.
Yeah, Faulkner, he cannot shake Dyson off the back of him at the moment. He's sucked onto the back like a vacuum, is Mr. Dyson.
Do that.
Yeah, it is so stable through there.
All right, hang on. 981's going to drive for a penalty.
That is Harry Dodds.
Not sure for what. Yeah, Harry Dodds. I'm not sure for what, but he was black flagged. It was an incident earlier on, I'd suggest.
Possibly maybe for the... I doubt it'd be for the Turn 1 incident, because he was just in the back of the pack and just locked it up and had nowhere to go. So I don't know why he would be copping that. Anderson, though, is now trying to get past the top three of the GTD class at the moment. Although he is struggling at this stage.
Well, he's trying to keep it clean so he doesn't get in their way, which is the smart thing to do. But he's also got to get past Ben now to relax and get himself into a groove. Just wait for the next bit of straight. Oh no.
He's just pushing super hard. Josh Houghton and Andrew Dyson have had an incident in behind him, though, just quickly. So we just missed the series. We went on board with Anderson. So Houghton's gone for it up the inside. Dyson's not realised he's there. Oh, very lucky though not to hit the wall. Houghton's though going to try and wait for him. Oh no, that could have ended very poorly.
Yeah.
For both of them.
Yeah.
So close.
He tried
to
to stay to readdress it, but there was no point.
Yeah.
You just can't sit there and wait for a readdressing there because there's no way that, it's crazy.
I know, it was a bit like what we saw on Wednesday night with the F3s. You know, you've had an incident. If the car hasn't hit the wall, then there's no point necessarily waiting at that point. But, you know, you're going to have to cop it on
get a
the
black
chin.
flag no matter what.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is. Come on, Endo, get past him, mate, because you need to just relax and drive.
He's got his wife watching now, so there's a bit of added pressure on him to get this done nice and clean.
Greg Barber's just called in an incident.
Yeah, that could possibly be for what this is right here. So, this will be the reason why he's calling this in. He's in an intense battle here with Chris Island, I believe it is, on track. Oh no, that might have been Dyson. But that was a big turnaround.
He was very lucky, very lucky. That could have been a lot worse than what it was.
I would say that incident there, if I was a race controller, I'd probably call that a bit of a readdress. He's dropped a couple of spots, but he's still going at this stage. His car's not destroyed.
Yeah, but how many spots has he lost? That's the thing. I think if it's more than two places, it's pretty much a drive-through.
It was a very nice save. That's right, Sean.
Yeah, well, he was spun out beautifully, mate. It was a bit of a pirouette. I think Anderson is now clear of Ben Faulkner, so he can relax. His code brown is over. He just needs to relax and just have some fun now and get used to the car. But it also gives Ben Anderson a bit of breathing space too, because he's got a guy that he knows isn't that experienced behind him, and in the faster car, which can very easily cause a collision.
Can indeed, but this has now allowed Faulkner to gain quite a fair gap over his teammate Greathead in P2, with their other teammate Josh Houghton in behind. So it's now Vermilion 1, 2, 3 at this stage in time, but they have got a fast-paced Ryan Jones and Chris Island making their way up onto the back of them at this moment in time. I have to wait and see. I believe it was Island who was involved in that incident with Barber.
It possibly was, yeah. Laura, welcome to the Team SRW, and yes, hubby is doing well. He's getting out there.
Does she get a free hat now?
Say again?
Does she get a free hat now?
Free hat now?
Yeah.
If we had them, possibly, yeah.
Oh.
I think we actually do have a couple of hats here that we had for summer nats, but we are going to do some new ones now in the coming month, week, whatever it's going to be. But it's just got to get the season 2 going, mate. That's number one on the hit list at the moment.
That's right. So Clifton now has Greg Barber all over the back of him. Barb's only really lost, well, he lost the position to Island when he was spun round. And then Clifton was the only other extra car that actually got past him throughout that incident. So I have to wait and see what race control says. They have the final say at the end of the day. They are over the radio at the moment.
Josh Horton, 043, has got a drive-through penalty.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, let's have a look to see how the GTPs are going, mate. Grouchy's out there pearling it out there. He's just settled in his car and making it do whatever he wants. He's in a race of his own at the moment. He's like 8 seconds ahead.
Yeah, he's really taking advantage of that track time that he would have had previously around here. 4 seconds back to his teammate, 7 seconds back to Delaney and P3. So
look at the pace difference there.
Oh, it is absolutely phenomenal. Like, just how much pace these cars have over the GTDs is absolutely ridiculous. But he's now caught the traffic, so this may slow him down a little bit. Yep.
Chris Island has got a drive-through penalty for the incident with Barb's, but Island's actually piped up and said he's never cleared me. So I'm not sure how Chris sees that, probably differently to the race control, but we'll see what happens. Grotch and Scott are indeed running in the 24 together. That's Sean Bonici. Cheers, mate. They look like they're going to have fun. They're probably going to go out of here tonight and think about their setup, maybe, because after seeing the way the maiden car sits and plants, maybe they're comfortable in the car sitting like that.
Well, I mean, you got to remember though, they are two different classes of car, and the GTP reacts very differently in the rain to what the GTD does. So they would have probably a specific wet setup for that car to be ultra stable through there. You can run that wider line through their sinker, so that was not an off track for him.
No. I just thought there was going to be a collision there, and I just shut up before I opened my mouth because I thought there was. I actually thought he lost it coming out of there, and then I realised no, he's taking the outside line.
So one thing I noticed though through that infield of how he was passing the cars was he has a lot more confidence in this car than what Brad Anderson does, for example. He was not willing to wait. He knew there would be doors open at certain points, and he just went for it. And again, that comes down to the confidence in the car, the confidence in the ability, and the amount of seat time he would have in this thing to know that, hey, I can get moves done around here. At the end of the day, in the official 12-hour, if you can't get moves done in tougher sections, then you're just going to lose time to your competitors ahead if they are able to do that. So
don't forget also, these cars, you need to keep the pace on them because the downforce needs to be down. If you slow down too much, they become a bit icy, yeah? So if you go to some of these corners too slow, which probably Ando's doing because he's got the pace in the car yet, he's going to be losing traction, yeah? Whereas what we're seeing now from Grocci, he's taking it wide, taking it left, taking it right. He's maintaining pace, which is maintaining the downforce.
Well, not just that. So they're not quite as downforce dependent as, say, an open wheeler, where you want to be on the grip limit. They can handle slower corners, but the problem with these cars is compared to an open wheeler is they can compression lock still. So we saw him have the spin in qualifying where he kind of just flicked it round at turn 2. So they can very easily get unstable and then, rock it around. So again, it just comes down to your confidence. Also your ability to actually manage the hybrid in these cars too. That's another skill.
I'd love to see some of these GTP boys out in the open wheelers in the GT3 in the Formula 3s. I'd love to see what they can do out there.
Well, they're not too dissimilar. They're not. They're closer than what the GTD is to the F3, for sure, because these have got a little bit more downforce. But these cars are ultra reliant on ground effects more so than downforce.
Yeah, 100%.
Where the
That's
F3
why
obviously is full aero.
This track here, with these bumps and grooves everywhere, realistically, if it was a real car, every time that car's bouncing, the ground effect is not as stable.
Oh, that's right.
You can lose it. You can lose the rear end quite easily, or the front end.
Exactly right. And again, that's where it kind of comes down to of getting confident in this car and actually learning the pathway, and again, we mentioned this, we use Brad as an example. Shane can also be used as an example too. And it's not necessarily us having a dig at them. It's pointing out that the pathway is there, and you will get better if you actually go through the pathway. Because same, just like real life racing, Sinker, of drivers go through the pathway to get to this level. And the reason they are so good in these cars is they've got the experience that they've picked up from those slower class of cars. You might think, well, why would I want to race in the slower class when I can race in the faster class? Well, slower class actually offers you skills that you need to learn prior to hopping into that faster class of cars, like confidence in being able to push around a corner and knowing the car's got the grip. You move up into LMP2, you then know that you've actually got a lot more pace over the GT3 car, where the LMP3 is on pace with the GT3 car. It just has a little bit more ground effect. So you move into LMP2, you get used to having to go around traffic, you get used to, again, a little bit more pace about you, and then you get into the GTP, where you're trying to get around everyone, manage your hybrid, manage your grip, manage your speed. So again, you're getting these little skills of managing speed, managing traffic up before you get into this bigger car and managing that hybrid. Those skills, they all come together and make a beautiful little cocktail for you to just sip on throughout a race.
293 kilometres down that back straight, Tiger.
So quick. They are so quick.
Is it kilometres? Yeah, it's kilometres.
Yeah.
293 kilometres. That is crazy. That is crazy. If there was an F1 car down that straight, it'd probably be doing about 350 kilometres an hour. So that's the difference in pace. It's ridiculous.
Well, I remember the unrestricted, so the previous running of what GTP came from LMP1, the unrestricted version of the Porsche LMP1 car was actually faster in a straight line than what an F1 car is. The one that they ran around. The one that they ran around the Nürburgring.
If they lifted the kibosh on the F1 cars and said build the fastest car, the sickest car,
the cars would be ridiculously
Oh,
fast.
it would
but
also be an
all
absolute death trap as well.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But, you know, when you think of the death trap these cars were 100 years ago, but 50 years ago, I mean,
well, even you know, 10 years ago prior to the Halo.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for the GTPs, I mean, they ran open top up until about, I think it was about 2007, 2008.
Oh, nearly. The cars are still dangerous, mate. They are still dangerous. It's just that the boys just are a bit better equipped now. They're the safe. Oh, there's a
That's
Porsche
Greg
going
Barber
off.
and Andrew Dyson. So they were battling it out here, coming around up towards the hard braking zone. Oh, a bit of interlock, and it's more DPR CXR contact. Oh, they are. Those two cars, it's not necessarily Dyson or Barber's cars, but both the CXR and the DPR cars just seem to be a magnet towards each other here tonight.
Yeah. When you're traveling on the same pace, I think Dyson asked for a tow, but then he's gone, hang on. I think he said he needed a tow now.
Yep. Yeah, he's at the end of that straight at the alternate layout, so this could be a tow for him. I doubt it's going to be a safety. Yeah, it wouldn't. No, it was never going to be a safety car parked there.
Yeah, he took the car off the track and out of position, so that was pretty good. It's I wonder if Ty's doing the big race tomorrow as well. I know that last time round he was doing it with Whitaker, I think was his teammate.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see who he'd be doing it with.
There as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who he'd do it with.
Yeah.
Possibly Whitaker, possibly Whiting, possibly Maguire, maybe even his dad. I don't mind a cheeky enduro with my dad when we both have the opportunity to do it at the same time, but doesn't always line up that way, but maybe.
Yeah, the cheeky enduro I do with my dad is usually drinking.
Well, we normally do both. We do the race and then we do the drinking, so it's a double header for us, bit of double bubble action. But
so we've got what do we got? We've got 12 minutes left.
Yeah, no, a bit more than that, about 22. So we are past the halfway point of this race. No, I'm wrong. It's not 22. It's even less. It is 17 minutes left in this race.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So
they've got a the problem is that the fields are so broken up at the moment. The fighting is still there with the GT3s. Biggest movers and shakers at the moment. We've got Lewis Greatheads up 4 places. Benjamin Brook 4 places. Ryan Jones up
8 places at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah. Math wasn't mathing there, boys. Yeah, I know, right, Sean. It's as I mentioned, mate. My skin's a bit fried, my brain's a bit fried. So it's
been a hell of a week. Let me tell you.
I feel like a fresh batch of fried chicken at the moment. I must say, just cooking.
KFC would go down real well.
It would go fantastic.
Spicy wings, anyone?
Oh, mate. Just a cheeky zinger would do me absolute wonders. But
I went for a Red Roots yesterday because I was out and about in the country, and I asked for one of those schnitzel thingamajiggies, and I got that picked out meat, and it was all microwaved, and I drove out and I thought,
yeah, I gotta
Rooster.
say, nothing too much against Red Rooster, but I find their prices are too high for the quality of their food. I'd rather go to KFC and spend $2 or $3 less for something that is better, in my opinion. But
if you're out there watching, please like and subscribe, and also tell us if you want to see one of your teammates or a car out there that you're particularly following. We're trying to mix it up as much as possible, front to back to front, wherever the action is. The boys have all gapped it a little bit, so they're not really on top of each other. So it's really just a matter of whose car's looking pretty at the moment. Let's go to the front of the grid in the GTDs, mate. Ben Faulkner, he's sitting out there. He's gapped the rest of those boys like crazy. He's just doing the job he needs to win the flag. Win the trophy.
Mate, he's trying to, you know what he's done? He's cleared some space on that shelf, and he is not willing to let that work go to waste here tonight. He is willing to grip that championship trophy with 2 hands. I do believe if he wins here tonight, that will be championship done and dusted to Dyson.
Right, judging in the point that I was looking at before.
Yeah, and with Dyson so far back at the moment.
He's sitting at 2. He's got a gap of 267 points, and Dyson is sitting where at the moment?
Back in P10. and he missed
No.
last week's race.
Oh, not in order. What's going on?
It's in
with
order at the
mine?
moment. So Dyson actually
No,
is
no,
in
on
the pits.
my SD card is all over the place. It's
So,
got Ben
as we
Faulkner and Josh Horton.
Yeah, so as we stand at the moment, Ben Faulkner is P1. Andrew Dyson is in the pits and out of the race at this stage in P10.
Yep.
So at this stage in time, Ben Faulkner will win the GTD championship. We can say that with fair confidence, as he was already leading by more points than what you get for a win coming into
That'll
tonight.
push up Greg Barber into second.
Push Barbs up into second.
Oh, how many points for the win?
I know it's less than what he currently leads by coming into tonight.
Okay, so Barber's got 287 as a gap, so no, he probably wouldn't, but it'd be a lot closer, and it'd be a fight for those last few positions, because it looks like Callum Hodgkinson and him, well, Callum's not here tonight, but Greg and Dyson, Greg will catch up to Dyson a bit, so it's going to be a fight for definitely for second and third out of those two boys.
Yeah, that's what our championship battle is looking like at the moment. Brandon Grotch as well. I tell you, this is one thing I will need next season, Stephen, if we can organise this, is a spreadsheet which has every single series that we run with all the points breakdowns for each race type for each series. So
what? The breakdown
give me the
of
info,
what?
I'm happy to make it. So a spreadsheet.
It already exists, mate. It
Does
already
it?
exists.
Oh, I need
Yeah,
that.
it already exists.
So no, but like with the actual, not I'm not saying like to track the points, but so like we have like the info on hand to say, hey, you get this many points for a win, you get this many points for second in this type of race.
All the points are, yes, correct. They are all there. It's all there. It's all there on one. It's all there. Each series has got its own spreadsheet and its own point structure on the first page, and it also has point allocations per round.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's all there. It's just a matter of you getting access to it, mate.
Yep. We'll try and line that up for season 2 then, so then we have the information on hand as we say as we go along. So pretty much
You
tonight.
might just need another screen. That's all.
Oh man, I've already got 3 going. I could easily put it on one of my third screen and just look back and forth.
I've got the YouTube going on, so I can see everyone out there in the world chin wagging out there. So come and say hello. Then we've got the timing tower. Then we've got the race on, and I'm watching Ben Faulkner just having a practice session for tomorrow.
Mate, he is on a bit of a parade race at this point in time. He's got 12 minutes till he catches the checkered, 12 minutes until he catches a trophy. Do you reckon he could get the trophy by the time the next round is finished as he comes in for his pit stop?
I reckon we can hand it to him through the window as he's going through. He's sitting on the fastest lap at the moment as well, which is 2.0165 was his last lap, last full lap. So he's absolutely blistering everyone else.
It is blistering lap times at the moment. One thing I will say is as well, obviously, if we can get more sign-ups for this series in the GTD class specifically, we will eventually be able to run the regular GTD class and the AM class, which would mean that it's more opportunities for someone else to win a trophy.
Yes, correct.
You know, and they can just run in the same race. It would then be exactly like IMSA with GTP, GTD, and GTD AM. So if you guys are looking to have a crack in the GT car, that would likely be iRating capped. So it'd probably be, I don't know, 3,000 minimum for the pro class, and anyone below that would go into amateur. And then they would get points based on their overall position in GTD, but they would have their championships within their classes. So it'd be similar to how our F3 works, how GR86 works, how Supercars works as well.
3 classes in one race just makes it so much more fun.
Oh, it's so
just
good.
I mean, 30 cars every week in the GT3s, sorry, the 86s and the Formula 3s is spectacular. It's absolutely spectacular. You know, occasionally we'll get down to 28, 27, something like that, but there's usually at least 10 in each class, so it's so much fun.
I mean, it would be cool if we could have LMP2, but we'd have to do pre-sign-ups and be like, if anyone wants to run LMP2, we're only going to have LMP2 if we get, say, 10 guaranteed entries into LMP2 for the season. But I think GTD and GTD AM is much more likely based on the fact that you will always get people who will want to race in the GT cars. And you know what? Maybe you could say as well, if you get enough GTP entries, if there are people below the iRacing official license of A class, being that you can't race in a GTP unless you're A class, then maybe say, look, you actually have to race in LMP2, and then when you get your license up to A class, that's when you can move up into GTP.
Chris Ireland's slowly catching here, but Parker's got a black flag. He's got to go through the pit.
Well, he did do his drive-through already.
He has?
Faulkner has
cool.
done his stop, but Ireland will have to come around and come into the pits.
There he is.
Stop, so there it is. That's
I
when
was
he
wondering
comes
why
in.
he's caught him so caught up to him. It was in the pits.
Faulkner at the moment is not only on for a championship win, but he's actually on for a Grand Slam at the moment. He's on for pole position, fastest lap of the race, leading every single lap, and a win, which is a very rare occurrence, especially in sports car racing. Ashton Rees asked if there's going to be any moisture here tonight. Unfortunately, no, Ashos. There's no moisture in Season 1. But next season, when we come in for Season 2, we will get rain as long as the real-world weather will match it. So we'll be set to real-world weather. The only moisture we've got right now is
Hamish sweating because he's sunburned.
Yeah, I felt my nose before, and I'm like, oh, that is very greasy from my sunburn. But
look at that leak through. Oh, that was well done.
Yep, that was phenomenally done. Maybe next time, no. Ashos, it'll be for Season 2. We will likely get rain at some point in Season 2 for real-world weather. Depending on where we go racing. I so hope we get Fuji next season for the IMSA calendar, because it means we can race it. Shoz Knotfest was phenomenal. Unfortunately, the sound guy had a little bit of a blunder for some of the sets, but all in all, it was a great day. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to go again next year.
Oh man, where to look? Where to look? Where to look?
I know. We can check out some other drivers out there. Benjamin Brook, he's done a consistent run so far here tonight. Sinker, he was involved in that lap 1 incident, but ever since then, he's just managed to keep it consistent, keep it clean throughout this race. And again, probably getting some practice laps in for tomorrow, because I'm sure that Frog Leap will also be running a GTD effort out there in the 12-hour.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny how iRacing just chooses not to give me gaps at the moment, intervals. All it's giving me is laps.
Yeah, how about this? How about I send you my link to my live timing once again, Sinker? And you can
That's what I've got. That's what I've got.
Okay.
I've got it working. I've got that. That's what I'm using.
That's
it's just
weird.
not working tonight.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's having a night off. It's having a night off. I've got intermittent. I've got gaps, and it's just blank. It's decided. No, look, I'm not giving it to you tonight. You can get stuffed. Yeah, it's all good. Because usually people I'll watch those times real closely, and I'll prompt Hamish to go to where there's any really close battles. At the moment, we're flying a little bit blind because of that. But the boys are still killing it left, right, and centre.
Yeah, they are indeed. So
once they get to that bloody wall, man.
I know, it is so close, but it is the fastest line through there.
You reckon they've pushed that wall out just because too many people were hitting it?
So,
or has it been pushed out because people were hitting it?
So I believe they pushed it out because it allows you to have a faster run through the last corner. And I think, I may be wrong, I think there were quite a few accidents when it was in line with the main straight. So they pulled it out, so there was less accidents, but so people could actually run the faster line and go too wide through the corner.
Yeah. Well, it was either that or cars keep hitting it, keep moving it.
That's it. So they probably just well, they can still hit it, but it's going to be less likely they're going to hit it now. But as we stand at the moment with just under 5 minutes to go, about 6 minutes left in this race here tonight, it is currently Brandon Grotch leading the way in the GTP class ahead of his teammate Scott Hasler out of P2, with young Guppy Ty Delaney on for a podium here tonight as we stand. It's then Josh King a little bit further back in P4. Shane Newens in P5, and then Brad Anderson a lap down, but making up the numbers at this stage. For the GTDs, it is Ben Faulkner to his teammate Lewis Greathead, and DPR's Ryan Jones out of P3. It's then the two Ferrari boys out of Mick Clifton and Benjamin Brook making up the top 5 at this stage, with Josh Houghton, Chris Ireland, Greg Barber, Harry Dodds, and Stefan McCartan making up the running order for the GTDs. Andrew Dyson is out of this race, and Adam Simpson never got going in the end. So that's how we stand. With 5 minutes to go, as young Guppy gets past Mr. Stefan, the other admin of the IMSA series.
Yeah. Well, I've got one of my boys is sitting in 4th. Josh King is sitting in 4th place in the GTPs. So he's doing a good job out there, keeping it clean and keeping it consistent. All he can really watch for is that hopefully Ty has a spin.
We don't wish. Yeah, I was going to say we don't wish any more character building on the young Guppy.
He's probably listening to me.
He probably is. He's like, oh, what, they're focused on me? Oh, better put on a show for... Oh, no, I've run it wide.
He did well then, actually. He did really well.
He did
Coming in
well.
from a bit of an over and under with the faster car.
Yep, that's right. If you're out there as well, guys, and you are doing the 12-hour tomorrow, let us know what you're going to be attempting the 12-hour in, if you are attempting it.
Yeah.
What
100%.
class you're going to be in, what car, what your plan is for tomorrow, how you feel about the rain in that race tomorrow. As I mentioned, if it's 12 hours of rain, that's going to be a long-ass day for that
And look,
race.
Anderson and Mr. King, let me know if he's racing the big race tomorrow, because I'll shoot you across the livery we have for this car, which is very sexy.
They won't be able to.
Why?
They're not in the right class for the GTP.
Oh, haven't they got the lower end?
They'd have to be, I think, I may be wrong, and I can be corrected in the chat, but I think it is class limited. It's license limited for the GTP, I'm pretty sure, because the officials, you cannot race the GTP if you're not in A class. Now, I could be wrong. I may very well be wrong. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm right, but from memory, Josh would be able to race the LMP2 because he's in B class. Yep. But I don't know if he could actually race in the GTP, in the top prototype.
Oh, there you go.
Not 100% right on. I'm not 100%.
That's okay. I thought they would have classes for all the way through.
Yeah, so they have splits. So they have splits throughout. But it's whether the license allows you to race or not. I'm not 100% sure on it. I may be wrong.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the cars are looking sexy anyway.
Oh,
They're flying around, doing a great job out there. We have got how much time left?
About 3 minutes. So it's 3 minutes until Ben Faulkner is crowned GTD champion of Season 1 of 2024 here for the Warren & Brown IMSA Shadow Series. Brendan Grotch will... I want to say he'll lock out the championship at this point. I don't know, though.
In the
GTP. Hang on, let me check my Google Sheets.
Well,
I have
173 points. He's on 214 to the 184.
Well, I have got
around.
I have got the actual. I know I've got the IMSA spreadsheet in my Google Sheets. So let me have a quick look.
Yeah.
That'll give me the points tally.
There's still 173 points, but him and Adam Simpson is 161 behind. So it's not.
Hasler is P2 on drop round points. So Hasler's P2 on drop round points. Simpson is P2 based on how they currently stand, but he's off on drop round points. So if I can find, here it is. Let's get this up. This will give me how many points are available per race. If I can find it, season points. So for a win, it'll be, if I can find it. Do that. Yep, that'll work. 385 points for a win. Possibly a 380.
Then top three in the Scotty. Ty's got to move up. It's still not a done deal.
Well, if Grotch has got a big enough gap, it would be, but he'd have to go up to like 385. But yeah, as it stands, although somehow Ben Faulkner got 385 points in round one and Stefan McCartan only got 380, so how that works, I do not know. Unless they're separate points tallies, maybe, who knows.
Might have been a penalty in there as well.
Yeah, no, he had 380 and then he got a further 60 penalty and that went down to 320. So, yeah, not 100% sure about that one, but what it will mean is that that's where the gap needs to be prior to next week. So Faulkner will for sure gain those points on Dyson. It's whether he's actually gaining them on Barber is the question. If he's gained enough on Barber and he's got 380 odd points over him, then that's championship one. Which again, all Faulkner would have to do is show up next week and he would have won it pretty much. As long as he finishes the race.
Yep.
So, but
how far away is the GTP from the crossing the line?
So he has now just started his final lap of the race. He's coming up towards the hard braking zone down here. So this will be his final lap of the running. So he did cross the line before the 45 minutes were up. Brandon Grotch is only A couple of
Do we
Ks
have a
away
white
from
flag?
another win. I've not been told about a white flag just yet, although my race control messages have not been coming up tonight, so someone's not in the right room for some reason, but that's okay. We'll see if Barney's out there when he comes round. It does not tick over the 45 minutes, so he will make his way round to take the win here tonight as he comes past his teammate in the lower class. So, quite funnily enough, Cinco, it's actually kind of flown by tonight.
Oh, it's gone real quick. We've been talking a lot of rubbish.
So we'll just
Here we
be
go.
we'll just be able to come around now and finish off this race nice and clean. Down the back straight for what should be the final time here tonight is Brandon Grotch. I mean, doesn't necessarily need to go for the move on those GTD cars, but he's going to, apparently.
Whoa.
Just sends it round the outside. He licked the stamp
Sends
there.
it. Jesus Christ, he's got some cojones. There's
He
a checkered
does. There
flag
is
of
the
Brandon
checkered.
Grotch.
So he saved them doing an extra lap here tonight. It'll be Brandon Grotch out of P1 for the GTP class. Scotty Hansel will come over in P2. Young Guppy Ty Delaney will come round in P3 when he crosses the line. Ben Faulkner is on his way to victory out of the GTD class as well. So as he comes round, here is Ty Delaney to grab a podium here tonight in the GTPs. It's a great run from him after a great run last Sunday night in the supercars as well. But Ben Faulkner leads the way for the GTDs, and he is only a few Ks away from another victory this season.
Yep, nice and clean. I love the way that car's handling on the road, mate. His setup is spot on. He's going to have a blast in the big enduro tomorrow. The way that car's sitting, he looks really comfortable in it.
I'd love to know the amount of hours that have gone in to getting that car that stable. Like, I would love it if he would be able to tell us they've done this many hours of practice and that's what's gotten them to this amount of stability in that car. Because it is just like, it's like a paperweight on that track. It is not moving at all.
Yeah, it's the best I've seen. It's definitely sitting the best out of all the cars out there. It's handling the bumps better than anyone out there too, and it is a firm base, but it's not sliding out from underneath them. Usually, when you got really hard setup like that, the car will slide a bit, but it hasn't been sliding at all. This thing's been set and planted.
Yeah, it is
really
just,
well done.
It's so hooked up. He has come across the line. He has taken victory here tonight. His teammate will come home in P2 with Ryan Jones coming over the line in P3. He had guaranteed that when Houghton was passed by the leader of the GTP class. So all he had to do was just finish that lap there. But there's our race winner once again. It is Brandon Grotch here for Frog Leap Juice Racing. Bringing up our race results here tonight for the overall finishing positions and how they stand. It was Brandon Grotch out of P1 to Scott Hasler in P2. Ty Delaney out of P3 with Josh King out of P4. Shane Newens out of P5 and Brad Anderson 2 laps down in P6. Then for our GTDs, it was Ben Faulkner to Lewis Greathead and Ryan Jones. That was our podium for the GT class with Josh Houghton, Mick Clifton, Chris Island, Benjamin Brook, Harry Dodds, Greg Barber, Stefan McCartan rounding out the final runners for that class. Andrew Dyson was 12 laps down in the end. This is how they are. This is how they are resulting for the GTDs, of course. That's how they finished out. Ben Faulkner with another win, as mentioned. And then for the GTPs, it was Grotch. And yeah, I'm just seeing there, Stefan McCartan, his fast repair did not work in that stop. So that would explain why. So it wasn't deliberate sinker. He did not deliberately not use it. It just decided not to use it.
Oh, poor bastard. That's just
it was on strike here tonight. So
you know what?
for him.
Some great pace, some class driving out there tonight. So very impressed. It's always good to come out and do a bit of comms work and see some quality driving out there. Again, the field's a bit light tonight. F1's around and everything like that, but the boys showed some real quality in racing. I tell you what, I'm very impressed with some of the setups out there, the way the cars are sitting on the track like tonight. It was I was expecting a lot more bouncing and sliding.
Yeah, it's great with the fact that there is a special event on offer for this track this weekend. It's allowed us to have a lot more drivers out there who are experienced around this circuit, and it helps them kind of get used to it and get settled. It's unfortunate that the whole IMSA Championship does not have officials in special event form. I think it'd be really cool if we had, an official 2.4-hour special event for Long Beach, and I know we have Watkins and stuff like that. So pretty much our next event that will directly line up with an iRacing, with a real-world IMSA event, will be the Watkins Glen 6-hour. That won't happen until, I want to say, Season 3 will be the next time it actually lines up with it. It depends when the end of Season 2 is for us.
Yeah, I can't remember right now.
Because I believe the iRacing...
the 22nd of, April. So
I believe the 6-hour is June, I want to say. So if our Season 2 does not end... if it ends prior,
Season 2 will end probably second week of June.
Oh, it might line up then. It might line up for the final round.
We're starting the last week of April.
Yeah,
we've got 9 rounds, so it'll be 4 and 4. It'll be the last week of June.
Very good.
Yeah. So who we got in the room? Who we going to bring in first, mate? We've got our
GTP boys in
Hasler and Ty Delaney.
Well, we might as well bring in the Guppy. We'll have a chat to him first up. Mr. Delaney, you go 2 podiums from 2 this week. And I believe this is your first podium in the GTP car, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe so. First ever.
Oh, well, mate, that's got to feel absolutely fantastic to finally, get the water off the camel's back with that one and just, crack that egg and break on through.
Yeah, definitely. It pretty hard to get a win in this podium in this category, especially in oh my god, especially in with these crazy fast drivers, especially like Scott Hasler and Brendan Grotch. They're crazy quick.
They are. They're another level, aren't they, mate? Like, they are just absolute aliens in these cars. Now, are you going to be having an attempt this weekend at the 12-hour, or are you going to be skipping that one tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm going to the Grand Prix to watch qualifying, but I definitely would. But yeah.
Living the dream.
Nice. Where's Dad and Whiting and all the rest of the boys, mate?
The rest of the boys are in Discord, but they're doing they're practicing
for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, but Dad is currently at a work function, but I'm not actually sure if he's there because he sent me a photo of the 1989 world champion in Formula One. Can't remember his name. The Supercars commentary. I forgot his name as well. And a photo of Brock Feeney, so I'm not actually sure where he's at the minute.
Sounds like he's either at a bar near the track or he's been at the track.
Yeah.
Good on him. He's probably got a few work permits there that will get him into the right spot. Good on him. Listen, mate, good to see you out there in the GT in this series and doing well, mate. You've your confidence level has gone through the roof on on any cars. Are you going to have a crack at any open wheelers?
I believe next season, if I'm not doing anything on Wednesday, I'll be doing the F3s. Wasn't able to do it this season because of the Logitech G Pro, but yeah, definitely next season I'll be jumping into that.
Oh,
you'll be embarrassing me in there as well. Good stuff, mate.
Well, mate, just quickly as well, what happened to Simo tonight, mate? He was out there practicing and then just didn't qualify or make the grid.
I don't know. I think he might have had some sort of like disconnection failure, but yeah, I don't really know, honestly.
Oh, fair enough, mate.
Right. Well, have you got your list in front of you, dude?
Yeah.
Yes. Let me just click onto
All right.
it.
Give him
Okay.
a shout out. Who helps you get on track, mate?
Okay. So a big shout out to West End Motor Group, Parramatta Peugeot Professional, Parramatta City Great Wall Haval, West End Parramatta, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, DC Shades, Relax, Precision Sim Training, Infinity Designs, Adrenaline Images, Battery Warehouse, Ellie Beach, MJS Gaming, Fishing Motorsports. But big shout out to you boys in the commentary booth that make it all happen.
Excellent, mate. Well, good luck for the rest of the season in all the categories you're racing. You've had a killer season, and hopefully it brings you home a trophy.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
All right, take care, mate. Bring in the next victim.
We'll bring in P3 from the GTD field now, Mr. Ryan Jones of DPR. Ryan, mate, we haven't seen you out there as often as what we would love to see you out there this season, but you come back in out here at Sebring, I'm sure using it as a bit of a practice run for tomorrow, and you had a fairly solid night out there, mate, to get into P3. What was happening with Daiso, mate? Because he seemed to be just a vacuum to incidents out on track.
Well, between him and Chris, yeah, there are a couple of blow-ups, but yeah, just a few unfortunate racing incidents, I think, for those two. I don't know if Race Control saw it the same way, but I haven't looked at it either, so I don't know. But unfortunate, I did my best Bradbury impression tonight. I came in with no practice at the Grand Prix all day, and I haven't been practicing for the 12-hour, actually. I'm not doing that twice. I spent most of the night trying to remember how to drive the track without water on it, because that's all I've done at Sebring for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, mate, but
Nice
obviously you've missed a couple of rounds this season, mate. Are you hoping to get in more often for season 2?
Yeah, well, I work a lot of events. It's been speed series and supercars, so I miss a lot of Fridays. So it's more a case of jump in when I'm at home and can have some fun on the sim, bit of a more casual thing. I'm more of an oval guy, so
fair enough.
turning right's more of a see how we go. The DPR boys are significantly better than me at turning right and turning left, for that matter. But
nice work.
Oh, mate. Obviously, it was not as big of a field as what we've had this season, but still a nice little couple little battle packs out there for the GTDs. You mentioned you were having to get resuited to this track, especially in the dry. Which I'm sure a lot of drivers haven't been doing since tomorrow's race is having rain, and a lot of drivers will be practicing for rain tomorrow. But I guess, we kind of announced that we're going to be running real-world weather next season, which could mean we get rain, could mean we don't get rain. Depends on what the weather is on the day. How do you think that could possibly affect not only your racing next season in this series, but possibly even the field's level of racing as well, because they're going to have to attempt to practice for both dry and wet weather scenarios, depending on what the real world is willing to offer us up on the day.
Oh, I might start packing the rig up Max Verstappen style so I can do all these rain races that we might get next year's season. We're keen. All of us at DPR are pretty keen for the rain to come into SRWtv. I think it's actually why we signed up at the start of the season. So yeah, it was a shame to have it for these 2 races, or few races at the end, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll shake it up quite a bit. A lot of those guys that are fast because they can do a lot of practice laps over and over, it might shake it up a little bit. Those people have to adapt to the changing conditions, and it's tough to practice for the rain, especially when it can change so quickly as well. So I think it'll be good, and hopefully bring some.
I think it's going to open up the field a bit. Not open up the field, but condense the field a little bit and give some other drivers the opportunity to shine in the wet, especially in that transition period between the wet and dry, and then the rain coming in as well. I think they're going to be the key points of when you're going to go and get a good spotter in there. It's raining, get in there now, or take it a bit longer, or when to come off them as well. So it's going to be a few different factors involved.
Absolutely. We'll see. We can only find out once that green flag drops, and we all sail off into turn 1 and have another crash, and I have another Bradbury moment.
Yeah, well, it might be just a thing where everyone just whinges and complains again. Too much rain. Look, mate, congratulations, and you know what? You call it a Bradbury moment, but you got to put yourself in a position to take the positions, and you did exactly what you needed to do, mate. You raced clean, stayed where you were, you focused on it, and that's what the result was. So well done.
Mate, it's good to have a clean race. I've had an absolute stinker this week between different leagues, so it was good to get it done tonight.
Excellent, mate. Who do you need to thank to get you on track?
Well, that's good. I spent this entire interview looking for the interview helper over the DPR Discord. I finally found it. So, big thanks to you guys, SRWtv, for putting on the league and hosting everything and putting all the broadcasts together. It's always fun to go back and check it out. And of course, simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Bedmax Mechanical, and MP Designs, and everyone who tunes in.
Fantastic.
Excellent, mate.
Well, thanks for coming over chat to us once again, Ryan. Really, really appreciate it, mate. Hopefully we see you out on track next week for Spa. Enjoy the F1 action to come this weekend, mate. And but if we don't speak to you, Best of luck next season when you are able to get it on track with us here in SRW.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. All right, who's next?
We will drag in our GTD top two in Lewis and Ben since they are from the same team.
Yep.
Lewis and Ben Faulkner. Vermilion 1-2 once again. You just don't like to be fair to everyone else, do you, boys? You just wanted to take out 1-2s like it's nobody's business.
Apparently.
Oh.
Every race that I've started in the series, I've come P2.
Oh,
Ben
man.
might have to let me win the next one.
It's almost getting disgusting at this point. One thing I will say is, though, we were kind of trying to do the maths in our head kind of throughout the latter half of this race, which we think, Ben, that I think you've either locked out the championship at this point or you have definitely got two hands on it and you just need to show up next week and finish to get it. Like, it's surmountable, I believe, but it's like looking more or less insurmountable at this stage. So, but I mean, a cracking run this season. And I guess it just comes down to not only the consistency of showing up week in and week out, but having the consistent pace that you've had throughout this season has just benefited you immensely. Are you boys doing the 12-hour tomorrow, I would assume?
I am, yes.
Okay.
I don't think Lewis is.
No, I've been quite unwell the last 2 weeks, so I couldn't do any prep for it.
Oh, that's fair
Quick
enough.
question for you guys. Set up on your car. We were watching it the way it was planted all the way through the race, and it was just the setup just looked like so many shades better than what everyone else was holding. I know there's different styles. Some people like soft rear ends, some people like hard rear ends, but you guys looked like you're so planted through corners. Even with the stiffs, it looked like the suspension was fairly rigid. You weren't sliding around. How much time do you guys spend on setups?
We don't. Well, do for big races.
For unless it's special events, we just use HIMO setups, which is obviously one of our sponsors. They're like Team Redline and Williams drivers that build those, so they do a terrific job. And then just the Porsche loves its slip-angle, and the setup works very well for that. And to keep good tire pressure and good tire wear, they're perfect really.
They've done really good things with the setup. It's pointy and planted at the same time, which is everything you can ask in a car.
Oh, I reckon they've had a horticulturist build that setup because just the amount how planted that thing actually is ridiculous. Like it was like glue to paper. Like you could not get it unstuck for the life of you.
I tried.
Yeah, well, I mean,
work.
like namely through the curb of death. Like it was just you were not unsettled at all. It seemed now.
Yeah. Those S's, watch the way you guys, the car sat compared to other cars. You could see that the setup was just next level. Some of the other cars had a little bit looser. The rear end was bouncing a lot more and a lot of reliant on the inside tyre and traction loss. Where you guys came through a corner, you can see you put the foot down. The car was planted really early and straight away. So you guys were just taking off straight away. Look, it was awesome to watch. The cars looked fantastic. You guys, the way you drove was sensational. So congratulations. 2 hands on the trophy. Big weekend, big race tomorrow. Who are you racing with, Ben? Who's your partner?
I've got Jamie Christensen and Teo Sorono.
Nice.
Maybe top split tomorrow and see how we go.
And in the order of those three, are you the lead driver?
Probably Jamie is the quickest, but because he's from WA, I'll probably be qualifying and starting, but we're about the same pace, so should do fine and see how we go. I think we'll be in the Lambo, so a little bit different to this car, but setup feels hooked, so we're excited.
Who's got the last stint?
I believe Teo does.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, good luck tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how you guys go. I think if you're the company you're using, who was the company you used again? Give me another plug that does the setups.
HIMO setups.
Excellent, mate. What they've done with your car is next level. It's very noticeable compared to other cars. So congratulations with that setup that you got hooked up with them. That's pretty cool. Hamish, any more questions apart from the fact that Ben could be the champion and we don't know because we're noobs?
Well, I would say even if he's not champion by points, it'd be pretty improbable that Ben would not win this now without, unless you, for some reason, can't show up next week, Ben, and have an absolute stinker, which has not happened yet this season, then it is more than likely that you are a provisional champion at this stage. Obviously, Spa next week. Your focus is on the 12-hour tomorrow. I would say, you know, the mindset next week surely is just rock up, race, and just cut laps and have some fun.
Yeah, that's usually the mindset for us when we hop in. Because especially this weekend, I mean, it's Sebring, so same track, but different car. So gonna have to do some practice now to get back used to the Lambo. But yeah, it should be awesome. Just rock up and have some fun.
It's quite interesting actually to see the Lambo back in the upper echelon of cars through a BOP. Like, I know it's been quite unstable and weak at times in the past couple of years, but all of a sudden it's strong once again, which is quite nice to see actually, because I used to run that car quite a fair bit when doing GT racing. But what was kind of the main process of choosing between the Porsche or the Lambo, and then going for the Lambo in the end for tomorrow?
Well, before Bot, obviously the Lambo was pretty easily the best car by quite a long way. It's very good in the rain. After Bop, it's still with the Audi, it's still pretty up there. And we've worked on the Lambo set for a while now, and we've managed to keep it sort of at the pace that we had before the Bop. So yeah, it's a bit quicker than what we were doing in the Porsche here. Still with the Bop. But yeah, so it's good seeing it after the recent update. It feels really good, and it's really shone pretty much everywhere.
Very good, mate. Well, great to hear. Great to hear that you're having a crack out there tomorrow. Best of luck for tomorrow's race. Who do you guys have to thank who's given you the support and the help out there with Vermilion Motorsports, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
So I'll go ahead. So obviously all the boys at Vermilion Motorsports, Vermilion Esports, which is coming very soon, Berlin Motor Group, Dr. Epoxy, Race Lab Overlays, Burb Designs, Supernova Motorsports, Moser Racing, Jaime Setups, of course my dad, because I believe he's watching again. And yeah, up go the Warriors.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Well, congratulations, guys. Great teamwork out there, and lock it out first and second. Good luck next week, and good luck tomorrow. Hope you guys have a stellar run.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the broadcast.
Boys.
Thanks, boys.
Cheers, mate.
Well, we'll now drag in our GTP P1 and 2 and our overall winner in Brandon Grotch and Scott Hasler. Well, I'm going to reiterate the same question, or the same narrative that I put to, or same statement I put towards Ben Faulkner and Lewis Greathead. Do you guys want to make this fun for anyone else and let them maybe get on the first or second position, or are you just kind of set in your ways of finishing 1-2 out there every week?
Look, we're always happy for someone else to come and have a crack, but yeah.
I'm gonna have to bribe people for this series and get some more GTP, GT3 drivers out there to make it a bit of a door knocker, and a bit more of a not just one team win all the time. But you guys have done an exceptional job, and you really, I mean, the nights that I'm not here on comms, where I get finally get a night off. Hamish, thank you. I still watch the racing anyway, and you guys just rip it up every week, mate. How much time do you spend in these cars?
Yeah, for both of us, I think it's our main car. So we're in these cars quite a bit, and yeah, run the officials and all that kind of stuff. So we it'd be definitely the majority of our time on the sim.
Well, I mean, what's 12 hours more going to be tomorrow? Like, it's just another day, another drive, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I haven't actually. Yeah, I ran our race set today just to try and get a bit more practice in, because I haven't gotten too much this week. But yeah, no, keen for that. We'll see how the weather goes. It'll be it should be good fun.
How many cars you got in tomorrow?
I think we've got 3. I think we've got one in each class.
Cool. Are you two partnering up?
We are. Yeah, we've got us and a teammate, Hamish. So yeah.
Nice.
Partner up.
Well, that's cool. Are you guys, Hamish? What's the ladder looking like? I've forgotten already.
Well, I know that Brandon is still leading the way by quite a chunk of change at this stage in time. Scott, you would have lost a couple points off him, but it's still not out of the question for you to be able to win this championship, being that there are 380 odd points on offer for a win next week. But it would be pretty it's pretty much the point now where, Brandon, you'd have to have an absolute shocker next week, and Scott, you'd have to have the race of your life and finish up P1 again. So is it kind of now that you're just going to be cruising along together, hope to get another P1-2 next week, or just try and make the checkered flag at some point?
Yeah, look, we'll both just have another crack, see what we can do. I think I might need that bribery to get a full field of GTPs if I'm going to have a crack. I'll need him finishing 25th or something. But we'll just have a crack. Hopefully, have a good race, and that's all you can do, isn't it?
Are we going to be able to see Mr. Benici out there again next season in the GTD class?
Hopefully, I was going to give him a shout out. He's always in the stream. He's watches all our races. I haven't heard from him, but hopefully he'll be.
Oh, yeah, the US, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I thought so. Yeah, so if you're staying awake and watching it, well, you might as well get in there and get sweaty and race and stretch yourself out.
Exactly. Now, do you reckon we might be able to see some more Frog Leap crossover coming into this series in future? Maybe get a Mr. Mark Poynton or a Rick Sibber out on track at some point?
Yeah, look, I know, quite a few of the guys are, keep an eye on things. They do, a good chunk of the team are supercars guys, so it's can be a little bit of a challenge to bring them across to the IMSA side of things. But we'll see what happens next season.
It's good. It's good to have you boys out there. Dodgy's in there all the time, getting in amongst it all as well, waving the flag every other night. Actually, have you guys thought of open wheelers? How do you guys run have you run open wheelers before?
Yeah. You go, Brandon.
Not often. I don't like the Formula 3 because I hate how it sounds. But I did give the Super Formula Lights a go, and I really enjoyed them. So I'm considering delving into the SRW League next season for Super Formula Lights if they happen.
They are. We're definitely 100%. Going. We're going to have the F1 Shadow Series is going to be the launch of them. So we've got 2 races between the season 1 and 2, and it's going to be weather dependent as well. So they're going to be a lot of fun. I drove it the other night for the first time in the wet in an official, and I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Suits a shit driver like me, so I actually enjoyed it, so it's good.
I might see you out on track then.
Yeah, definitely. No, you won't see me, man, because you'll be up the front and I'll be down the back.
Oh, hang on. No, he might see you when you rear end him and he's leading a racing car.
Oh, give me a break. I did it once.
That's all it takes for it to happen once.
When you get the blue flag, when I get the blue flag and you pass me, then I'll just wave as you go past. But anyway, guys, look, who do you guys got to thank, and who brings Frog Leap on track and supports you guys?
Scott?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Big shout out to Juiced Energy, Simrigs.com, Racecraft, Soodsby Gloves, and the Pet Dog Company, and just a big shout out to everyone at SRW that makes it all happen.
Excellent, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys coming out and competing with us, and good luck in the final round, and good luck tomorrow as well. I'll be watching and listening out to how you guys are doing. I know you guys will be posting stuff out. Link us in at SRW so we know how you guys are going. Well, actually, we want all our teams to link us in so we can see how you're all travelling.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks, fellas.
Appreciate
all right, congratulations, guys. Cheers. Well, there you go, mate.
What a nice little event it was here tonight out at Sebring. I think it offered us up some nice racing out there, of course, but also a good preview to what some drivers will be experiencing tomorrow during the 12-hour action, of course. But maybe even a little bit of a preview to what we could actually have coming in future, in terms of our little mini sort of enduro series that'll happen throughout the year.
It'd be very interesting to see how the rain is going to affect the racing tomorrow. I'll be be very curious to see what impact it has on the quality of the racing, incident levels. Will they be up? Will they be down? All that sort of stuff. So it's going to be very interesting. I'll give it a bit of a watch.
I don't know how your only way you're going to be able to watch it really is by having a friend in the 12-hour and then watching their race.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. The fishies will be streaming it. There'll be Vermilion boys will be streaming it for sure. The Juice boys will be streaming it. So there'll be a few of our teams out there streaming it. So there'll be plenty of places to have a bit of a sneaky peek at how's it all going.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, if you guys are wanting to support any of those teams, then maybe if we're able to get a link for their streams, we'll put them out on our socials and you can go and see how they're running in their splits and in their separate races. There'll likely be some crossover between some of the teams being in similar splits or even the same split throughout the day. So you will be able to check out their action as well. But thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight for the Warren & Brown Tools IMSA Shadow Series. We so appreciate your time and for bringing us into your home or wherever you may be watching from. A big thank you to all of our series sponsors, including Warren & Brown Tools, Shannon's Insurance, Motorsport Australia, Grim Industry, Shunt Scenery, NeuroPower, and DSL Rail Services. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you are notified anytime we go racing across our 6 nights of racing here on Sim Racing World TV, including our Tuesday night Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercar Series, the Wednesday night Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals, the Thursday night Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals, which is also a Motorsport Australia official event, the Friday night IMSA Shadow Series brought to you by Warren & Brown Tools, the Sunday night Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am, rounding out our racing week, the Motorsport Australia Formula V Nationals on Monday nights. Thank you guys so much for a fantastic season so far. We've only got 1 week of racing to go. We've got 2 races left in round 8, and then it's round number 9, final round of the season. Everything is on offer in all of our championships here. But thank you once again. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here tonight with us. For myself, Hamish Runner, and Steven Sinkovich alongside me. Thank you so much. Be safe. Be merry. Best of luck to all the drivers tomorrow in the 12 hour. And until next time, we'll see you Sunday for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am. But until then, bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because